Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to another video of Be the Best DFS Daily Fantasy Sports Talk. Today is Monday, September 19th, 2016, and I'll be going over my FanDuel lineup strategy for GPPs, and also I'm going to talk about some DraftKings for the MLB baseball main slates tonight. I'm wearing my Falcons gear because my Falcons got a big win in Oakland on yesterday. Rise up. Matt Ryan, he had a great game. But again, this is a baseball video. My football lineups, they did okay. I posted my results on the Instagram page as well as on the Facebook page. I posted my DraftKings results. Gotta wait for tonight for the football one to finish up. For Monday Night Football for FanDuel. Gotta wait for tonight to be over with. But again, I know we're all excited about the football season, the first couple of weeks, but we still do have baseball going on, and there's still money out there to be won. Today is a new opportunity to be great, a new opportunity to be the best. So with that being said, I'm gonna get started on tonight's slate for MLB GPPs and tournaments. And starting off with the main position, at the pitcher position, definitely on FanDuel with those 12 points for the win. I'm coming with a little surprise with who I like as my favorite pitcher for GPPs. It's Jarrell Cotton of the Oakland Athletics for 5,500. Mainly it's because of his salary. This guy, I don't know much about him. He's only got 2 games of experience in the major leagues. September 13th, he had 20 fantasy points at Kansas City, a tough place to play in, the World Series champions on the road. But September 7th, his major league debut, he had 37 fantasy points against the Los Angeles Angels. Now the Angels got players like Albert Pujols and Mike Trout on the team, and for his major league debut, or his first start at least, to have 37 fantasy points, I think that's pretty impressive. Tonight's game, he's playing against the Houston Astros. One advantage is the stadium in Oakland is known to be a pitcher's park. The wind is supposed to be blowing out a little bit, so that's a disadvantage. But overall, the park is known to be one of the tougher parks to hit in. The Houston Astros, they're a right-handed heavy team. Altuve, Springer, Evan Gattis, Carlos Correa, all of their best players bat from the right side of the plate. And with Cotton being a right-handed pitcher, I think he has a better chance of having a good game. So, again, now I'm not saying Cotton has the most upside out of all the pitchers on the slate. But for GPPs, trying to be contrarian, trying to be a little different, and mainly because of his low salary, if he's able to get that 37 points he had his first home game, or even more, that would be fine with me. I doubt he put up 50 or more, but that 37, if he can get that again, equal that performance or a little more, I think it'll bode well for me in tournaments and GPPs for tonight. Now, quickly, I want to talk about some of the other pitchers on the slate for tonight. We have some top dollar pitchers. Noah Syndergaard at 11,000. He could very well have a good game, but there are supposed to be some possible weather concerns in New York, and that scares me. And another thing, I notice a lot of times when I try to pick pitchers against the Braves just find a way to do just enough to have a decent game. You got Freddie Freeman on the Braves, Nick Markakis. Sometimes they have good games. Again, Noah Syndergaard, he's a great pitcher, but for me, I don't want to spend up at the pitcher position along with the possible weather concerns of rain. Noah Syndergaard, he's someone that I'm going to fade for tonight. Then you have Clayton Kershaw at 10,600 at home against the Giants. He's seemingly in a great spot. The Giants, they have a poor offense. Dodger Stadium is a pitcher's park. Kershaw, I think he's the reigning Cy Young winner from last season. I may be incorrect on that, but we all know Kershaw is a great pitcher. But he's coming off an injury. This would be his second start, and I'm just not sure if they're going to have him on a pitch count, to protect his arm and to protect his health. So, being that he might possibly be on a pitch count and that high salary, He's someone else I'm going to fade. Madison Bumgarner. Oh, I cannot use him. He might have a good game. Who knows? But I will not pick him. I picked him maybe like his last 2 starts, and he disappointed me. His last start in particular, at home versus San Diego Padres. The Giants, they fighting for playoff position. This was on September 14th. Check the game log. 26 fantasy points against the Padres, a National League team at AT&T Park. Bumgarner, he just has frustrated me, his last couple of performances. And then to add on to that, August 23rd on his game log, he was this at the Dodgers, at Dodger Stadium, the same position he's in tonight. And on that night, he had 21 fantasy points, 5 innings pitched, 9 hits he gave up. So, Bumgarner, yeah, I know he's great. Mad Dog, he pitched good in the World Series a couple years ago. But for 10,500 and his performance the last 2 games and his performance last month at Dodger Stadium, for me, he's someone that I'm fading. Porcello, he's been good this season, but I like Porcello better at home at Fenway Park. It kind of scares me on the road against a Baltimore Orioles team who hits home runs, a lot of home runs at Camden Yards. It's also a hitter's park. So Porcello, 9,600, decent price, but I just feel it's kind of risky with the home run potential that the Orioles have. I see Jason Hamill on here for 8,400. I think normally he would be in a good spot, but the Cubs, they done wrapped up everything. They clinched everything. I just don't know how motivated they're going to be to play tonight. They could rest some of their players, and the Reds might get the win, or they may take Hamill out early, to save him for the postseason. They already clinched, so being that they don't have anything to play for, Hamill is someone that I'm not interested in tonight. Walker, we all know he had a great game, his last game, 72 fantasy points, complete game, 11 strikeouts against the Angels. But I think he might just be an interesting play because, I'm always scared to pick pitchers against the Toronto Blue Jays. Those big bats in Donaldson and Edwin Encarnacion and Bautista, they really scare me. Now, Walker, he is at a good ballpark. And the Blue Jays, I think they may have got shut out on yesterday. I'm not positive. So he could very well have a good game. A low price is a decent price of 7,500. But the Toronto Blue Jays, they have a lot to play for right now. They're battling for a playoff position. So, I'm just not bold enough to pull that trigger on Taijuan Walker. So I just went kind of low. Again, Jarrell Cotton for the Oakland Athletics. He's going to be my favorite play today at pitcher for GPPs. Now, if you're playing cash games, make a safer play. Like Cotton for the Athletics, it's a risky play. It's probably going to be an all-or-nothing play for me. I don't expect him to be highly owned. And I understand where the risk is. But, at that price, it's just going to open up a lot of other options for me for the rest of my lineup, being that he's only at a low price of 5,500. So moving on, I'm going to move on to the rest of my lineup. And I got this lineup together. Feel real confident about it. I'm using the stack of the Colorado Rockies in that thin air. I know the saying goes like, when you feel something good, it's like a breath of fresh air. Well, this is like a breath of thin air, because of that thin air in Colorado. So, I got a Colorado Rockies stack in the first position, the catcher position. I like Tom Murphy for 3,200 of the Colorado Rockies. Now, I don't know much about this guy. He's only got 11 games of experience so far this season. But if you look at his stats, he's batting .320 and 4 home runs on the season in 11 games. And if you look at his game log, his last game on September 17th, he had 47.9 fantasy points. Being that he's someone who's just got called up, I'm sure he want to prove himself. He had a day off yesterday. If you read his summary, they say he's battling for playing time between 3 catchers. I'm assuming that's Nick Hundley and Walters. Being that he had the day off on yesterday, I'm hoping that he's in the lineup tonight. And for the game to be at Coors Field, he's at a value price, in my opinion, at $3,200. He's a player that, again, I don't really know about him, so he may be less owned because he's not that well known. So at the catcher position, the first part of my Rockies stack, I got Tom Murphy. And hopefully he plays because I really, really feel that, he can have a good game, especially at their ballpark in Coors Field. Another thing I wanted to mention, out of all the games tonight, I feel like the game at Coors, it has the best hitting environment and should have the most runs scored. But, you never know with baseball, but I feel strongly about that. Other players at the catcher position, I think Buster Posey could possibly be a good GPP play. A lot of people not going to pick players against Kershaw. Posey, he has 1 career home run versus Kershaw, but it's a lot of at bats. Let me see. I think Lucroy could be a good play. Playing at the stadium in Texas. Stephen Vogt for $3,400. I read the weather reports, and they say the wind is supposed to be blowing out slightly to right center or right field. And with him being a left-handed batter, facing a right-handed pitcher in Peacock, I think Stephen Vogt is a nice play at the catcher position. And, again, catcher isn't, a position that you typically spend up for. So I really don't look at it too closely. Another possible value play, Chris Iannetta for $2,600 at the Seattle Mariners. He has 1 career home run versus Estrada, so he could be a good play. But again, as part of my stack in the first player of the Rocky stack, I like Tom Murphy for $3,200. Hopefully he's in the starting lineup. Moving on to the next position, first base. Now I'm being real bold with this move, but I just couldn't pass up on it, and I'll explain my reasons why. My favorite play for GPPs and tournaments at first base is Justin Bour for the Miami Marlins for $2,100. I think that's just a very, very great value play. $2,100. I don't know if this is a fact, but I think Justin Bour may be the biggest first baseman in the major leagues. He's like 6'4" or 6'5", 279 pounds. I mean, they just played the Braves. I was at the game, and that's what they showed on the jumbo screen. But despite that, $2,100, he's batting 6th in the order today. He's a left-handed batter going up against a right-handed pitcher in A.J. Cole. Now, Marlins Park is one of the toughest parks to hit home runs out of in the majors. It's one of the biggest parks in the major. But Justin Bour is like probably one of the biggest players in the major. And it doesn't matter what park you're in. If you hit it far enough, it can go out of any park. But mainly that price, I just think that's incredibly too low. $2,100. So I stuck him in there as a value play. So Justin Bour for the Miami Marlins. I know it's not popular to like punt at the first base position, but this GPPs, you gotta take chances, and that's something that I really, really like for tonight. Justin Bour at first base. Other first basemen that I would mention. Let's see. Excuse me. Edwin Encarnacion. He has 1 career home run against Walker, so he could be in play. Always David Ortiz, playing at, well, I'm sorry, the game is not at home, but it's a lefty versus righty matchup. He's going up against Bundy, but he's at a high price tag, so, he could do good. The Boston Red Sox, they playing for a lot right now. You can always consider Anthony Rizzo, but again, I'm not liking the Cubs because they already clinched everything. They don't have nothing to play for, so I just not sure how motivated they will be tonight. I think Joey Votto is a good play. He has 1 career home run versus Hamill. The wind is supposed to be blowing out to center at Wrigley Field. And just kind of looking through the player pool. Yeah, normally first base is a stacked position, but I don't see too many great plays in my opinion. And I definitely think it's a great move to just, pay punt at the position. And Justin Bohr for 2,100. I'm not sure why he's that low, but I'm definitely going to use him, for my GPPs tonight. I think he might make for a great cash game play if you spend up on one of those top dollar pitchers and you need to find value. I think Justin Bohr would be great for 2,100. Now, moving on to second base. This is the second part of my Colorado Rockies stack. DJ LeMahieu for 4,100. It is kind of at a premium price, but the game is at Coors Field. Normally, I try not to, focus on that game just because of where it's at. But when I look at all the games for tonight, I just really feel like a lot of runs can be scored there. An interesting note that I found while doing my research: Martinez, the guy for the pitcher for the Cardinals. He hasn't pitched at Coors Field this season, but in 2 games last season, he got a 6.75 ERA. So a lot of pitchers struggled there. I believe DJ LeMahieu, he may be like 4 for 7 against Martinez. But LeMahieu, I think he's a great play at second base. If I look at some of the other players at second base, see real quick. Maybe Carpenter, but it's a lefty-lefty matchup going against Anderson. But again, the game is at Coors, so Carpenter, he could be a good play. But I like LeMahieu better because I think he will have less ownership than Carpenter. I may be wrong. D. Gordon, he's still below 3,000, leading off. For 28, his price is 2,800. So D. Gordon for the Miami Marlins leading off. He can get stolen bases at any time. When I was working at the Braves game, a few days ago or maybe last week, he stole 2 bases in the first inning. I think he got on with a walk or a single, and he stole 2 bases in the first inning. So, again, if you spend up for pitcher and pay up for one of those top dollar pitchers and need some value, I think D. Gordon could definitely be a very good option, if you need to find somewhere to save. But I didn't look too much into the second base position. I just was kind of focused on my Rockies stack. So I just like DJ LeMahieu for 4,100 at the second base position. Moving on to third base. I really like this play. Kyle Seager for 3,100. The Mariners, they're fighting for a wild card spot. And Kyle Seager, he's one of the top third basemen in the league, in my opinion. A lot of times people forget about him when they talk about Nolan Arenado and Josh Donaldson and Manny Machado when he played third base. A lot of times people forget Chris Bryant. They talk about him, and they forget about Seager. I'm looking at this player pool right now. Donaldson, 4,300. Chris Bryant, 4,000. Nolan Arenado, 4,000. And then Seager is at 3,100. I think that's just too low for a player with his type of talent, which, in my opinion, makes him a great value play for tonight's slate. So Kyle Seager for 3,100. He's my favorite play at third base. I don't have the stats in front of me. I don't think I wrote it down, but I think he may be 5 for 10 versus Estrada, the pitcher of the Blue Jays. But again, with the Mariners having so much to play for, and Seager, at a value price, and he's at home, I think he's in a great spot, to get a home run tonight in tonight's game. Another player, maybe Justin Turner against Bumgarner. He got 2 career home runs versus Bumgarner. So for 3,600, definitely Turner is someone you could also consider. And like Bryant, he could be in a good spot, but just the Cubs, I'm not feeling the Cubs tonight. They clinched everything, so I'm not feeling any of their players tonight. So I'm not going to spend too much time on this position. I'm going to move on to the next position. Shortstop. Like I said, a breath of thin air. So I'm looking at this game between the Cardinals and the Rockies. Shortstop, I like Diaz for the St. Louis Cardinals. Not sure how you pronounce that, Eladimus Diaz, but anyway, he's 3,800. He hit a home run on yesterday afternoon. Let me see. Yeah, 28.2 fantasy points on yesterday. On the season, he's batting 305, 16 home runs, so he got a little pop in his bat. And then it's a lefty versus righty matchup. 3,800 price tag. I don't see why he won't have a good game. Definitely, I like Diaz tonight at the shortstop position. If I look at, let me see other considerations at shortstop. I think Bogart is a good play. Batting 2 in the order, 4,000. See if I wrote that down. He has 1 career home run versus Bundy. So Bogart, I think he's in play. He could definitely be a great play. He probably going to be the top owned shortstop in my opinion. Yeah, I really don't see anyone else. I'm not really big on Corey Seager. I don't think he really hits good against left-handed pitching. So although I don't think Bumgarner is going to have a good game, I don't know if Seager can have a good game against a left-handed pitcher tonight. But again, for this lineup, I got Diaz, but I definitely could see you playing Bogarts as well. So I'll move on to the next position. The third part of my Colorado Rockies stack, Corey Blackman for 4,900. He's at a high price, a premium price, but it's a lefty versus righty matchup at Coors Field in that thin air. Let's see if I can find. He has a good career history versus the pitcher, Martinez. I can't remember exactly what the stats were, but I think he's 5 for 10. And if you look at his game log, just please, if you're making your lineup, look at Corey Blackman's game log. I'm going to count it up real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 out of his last 7 games, he's had at least 15 fantasy points. Now, yesterday he only had 9.2, which was an off game. But again, 6 out of his last 7, at least 15 or more. And his game log he looks really good within the last week or so. So with his good history, the good ballpark, I love Corey Blackman tonight in the outfield position as my third part of a Colorado's Rockies stack. Now, he is at a premium cost, but if you do what I do and spend low at pitcher and maybe low at first base, you probably can afford him. And the last part of my Colorado Rockies stack is going to be Carlos Gonzalez for 4,300. Lefty versus righty matchup. I believe he's 2 for 6 versus Martinez. Great ballpark. Now, Gonzalez, he hasn't hit a home run in a long time since, September 5th. But I just think it fits well, with this stack. The Cardinals, they do have a lot to play for. Christian Martinez is a good pitcher. But this is Coors Field. And tonight, I just believe in this Coors Field effect. And, I'm hoping that it pays off. So I just threw Gonzalez in there for 4,300 as the last part of my Colorado Rockies stack. And the last player I have in this particular lineup, I really, really like this guy, Nelson Cruz, for 3,800. Again, the Seattle Mariners, they're fighting for a wild card spot, so I do expect him to play. He's batting, he's batting 625 with 1 career home run versus Estrada. I believe the sample size is 8 at-bats. And he's at a decent price for 3,800. So I definitely love Nelson Cruz tonight. The Mariners, they need to win. And Cruz, let me see his game log. Well, he hasn't hit a home run since September 14th. But, with everything that's on the line tonight, and you consider his good history versus the pitcher, I like Nelson Cruz as the last part of my lineup. Now, I'll just speak briefly about other players you can consider in the outfield. Mookie Betts for 4,100. He's a good play, but the last few times I picked him, he hasn't done anything. But he does have one career home run versus Bundy, the pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Just kind of looking through this player pool. Again, with that Coors Field game, if you look from the Cardinals side of the ball, definitely you can consider their right-handed bats, Piscotty and Grichuk, the outfielders. So going up against a lefty, and I think his name is Tyler Anderson. I'm going with the Rockies side of things, but I think both sides are good. If you can find a way to stack up both sides and stack the whole game and pick a pitcher, I think that could work out as well. So both of those guys are in play, Piscotty and Randall Grichuk. Kind of just looking through the player pool. Oh, let me mention this guy, Trumbo, for 3,200. He's batting .308 with 3 career home runs versus Porcello. So definitely, he's in play for 3,200. Great value play. He has 43 home runs on the season. Great ballpark in Camden Yards. Definitely Trumbo. But, you know, a lot of times when I pick Trumbo, he burns me. But I definitely can understand why you would want to play him. And I think that's about it for, you know, the outfield position. Again, to recap, you know, my tentative lineup that I have for right now, it's 3:15 where I'm here at 3:15 in the afternoon. So, you know, I'll probably make some changes. But I'm definitely, for FanDuel, I'm definitely big on Jarrell Cotton for 5,500. I like a Colorado Rockies stack with Murphy, Blackman, LeMahieu, and Gonzalez. I love Nelson Cruz. I love Diaz because of, you know, the game environment. And I really, really like Justin Bour because their price tag is just too low, 2,100. This guy, he got some power. He just been hurt, you know, this season. Hasn't played that much, but he's one of the biggest guys in the majors. So I definitely like Justin Bour at first base. So that's my take for GPPs tonight as far as the lineup strategy on FanDuel. I recently got back on DraftKings, you know, once football started, and I decided to you know, play some baseball on DraftKings tonight. I'm not going to do a full analysis, but I'm just going to point out a couple of things. You get 2 pitchers on DraftKings. For DraftKings, where strikeouts are more important, I think you get maybe 3 points per strikeout. I think Clayton Kershaw is a good play for SP1 for 12,500. And then I'm going with Jarrell Cotton again as an SP2, you know, at 5,900. Couple value plays here on DraftKings. Mark Trumbo for 3,700. I think he's a great value play. Justin Turner for 3,300. I think he's a very, very good value play. He got a 3 home run game early this season. And I think he got a 2 home run game. And he got 2 career home runs versus Bumgarner. So for 3,300, definitely I think Justin Turner is a good value play. Jed Giorco for the St. Louis Cardinals for 3,600. With the game being at Coors Field, lefty versus righty matchup, most of the time all the players' prices are inflated, 4,000 or 5,000 plus. But at 3,600, I guess they forgot to bump his price up. So Giorco at second or third base, he's a good play for DraftKings. And Chris Davis for the Baltimore Orioles. I know he's a horrible hitter as far as average, but he do have a lot of home run potential. And he's at 3,800. And his career versus Porcello, he has 3 home runs versus him. I think he bats for a low average 2-something. But he has 3 home runs against Porcello. The Orioles fighting for a playoff position, lefty versus righty matchup. So it's a good value play. And just like on FanDuel, this guy Tom Murphy for the Colorado Rockies, hopefully he start. But a game at Coors Field, his price is 3,000, so he's a great value play as well. So that's my little quick take for all y'all who play, you know, the DraftKings slates. And that's about it for my take for GPPs and tournaments tonight for the MLB main slates on FanDuel and DraftKings. I'm going to close out the video. definitely want to thank everyone who's taking the time out to view this video. And I thank everyone who subscribed to the YouTube channel. Up to 100 subscribers. It's definitely a blessing. And I thank y'all for subscribing to this channel. Thanks to everyone who's following on Facebook, Twitter, and on Instagram. Just search hashtag #BeTheBestDFS and you can find everything that I'm trying to do with this DFS industry. I'm going to come out with another football video maybe tomorrow, but definitely on Thursday. Week 2 wasn't great in the NFL, but it's a little better than week 1 for me. But tonight it's all about the baseball for me. I know a lot of people, again, are focusing on that football, but you know, I like what I came up for this MLB lineup for tonight. It's like a breath of a thin air for me. I already explained what that means. But again, thanks for all the support, and hope all y'all are able to be profitable tonight. Hopefully win some money, whether your NFL lineups are finishing tonight for Monday Night Football, or if you're playing baseball like me tonight. Just wish y'all much success, you know, counting these wins as blessing. And, you know, that's about all I got. Thanks again. And like always, try to be the best tonight. All right, I'm out.